Okay, setting up your meeting for Facebook Live.
Crazy.
Done. Redirecting to live.
Facebook.
I think we're live. Cool.
That's kind of crazy that you can sit in Mooresville and go to Facebook Live with whoever wants to watch with somebody sitting 10,000 miles away.
It's very cool. It is very cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it says we're live. That's awesome. Sweet. All right. Hey, good morning, Facebook land. I am sitting here with Max Silvey. He is really far away from all of us. He is sitting in the land of the unexpected in Papua New Guinea. And
I feel like everywhere is the land of the unexpected right now.
This is true. This is true. Good call. Yes, you have a point. So, all right, I'm going to pull my chat back up with you. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Mac and Caitlin grew up here at Mount Gilead. I was actually privileged to officiate their wedding, and those are good times back in the day. So Mac's over there in Papua New Guinea. I wanted to do the daily devotion with Mac this morning because I think it's really cool when we can connect with our missionaries and we can hear from them, see what they're doing, just kind of hear from somebody on the ground. Mac and Caitlin are with Pioneer Bible Translators, doing some really cool work. I was blessed to be able to go over there and visit. What was that, last year?
Yeah, it's already been a year. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. So I love what you guys are doing. So, hey, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the work you're doing over there? We'll start with that.
Yeah, so first off, it's 11 p.m. here. So if I look like I'm about to fall asleep, it's not because I think you guys are boring. It's because I am about to fall asleep.
And I'm drinking my Papua New Guinea mug that I got.
Yeah.
So in honor of you guys.
So I do IT work, off-grid power systems, and remote communications for Pioneer Bible Translators in Papua New Guinea, which practically means if it uses electricity and is related to doing Bible translation, I'm trying to make it work better or fix it. This part of the world is not particularly conducive to working laptops, servers, phones, the kinds of things you need to be able to translate the Bible in the modern day. And so I spend a lot of my time fixing that. And it's kind of exciting to me because I'm not a good Bible translator. I would not want to read a translation that I had finished, but I get to be a part of translating God's word into languages for people who've never been able to read about Jesus before.
Right.
And
Caitlin does a lot of literacy.
Yeah. So Caitlin is our literacy specialist right now. So normally she would be helping to prepare literacy training and different trips to go out and train literacy teachers in these different languages where we're doing translation, so that when you finish translation or even just parts of the books of the Bible, they can actually read it. So it's everywhere from teaching people who've never held a pencil before how that works, to teaching someone who might understand the trade language and has learned that in school, like how to transfer those skills over to their heart language, what they speak at home but don't necessarily know how to read. And right now, she's doing a lot of course development and meetings and online calls, kind of like the rest, because we've sent a lot of our employees back out to their villages.
Yeah. So you guys work with lots of teams of locals.
Yeah.
Interact personally with them a lot. And so with the landscape of everything right now, I mean, people that live in America, we kind of know what we're dealing with here. But what's the state of the coronavirus in Papua New Guinea?
I think it's the virus itself hasn't hit very hard here, but the side effects of a lockdown have hit us particularly hard because it's not a super wealthy nation, and so we've closed down our local markets to try and stop the spread. And for a lot of people in town, like they've moved to town and away from their homes where they're doing subsistence farming and had gardens. That market was their only source of affordable food. So while we haven't necessarily felt the direct impact of the virus, we've definitely seen a lot of people who are just kind of struggling right now, and it's hard to, as a team, we've chosen to kind of pull back and our teammates, our Papua New Guinean translators and coworkers, back out to their homes, their villages, to try and help them stay as isolated as possible.
Yeah. Are there
So,
cases confirmed over there?
what was that?
Are there any cases that are confirmed?
Yes, we've had a few confirmed cases, and they're trying to do contact tracing on those to figure out how far is it spread, has it spread, is it contained, and they're doing a really good job of that. It's a very remote kind of place, so it's hard to tell, like, if somebody walked from one place to the other, who did they interact with?
Right.
But they're doing a very good job of trying to track down the people that have tested positive. And yeah.
So what are you guys on lockdown or in quarantine?
We are not officially on lockdown as a country. They have restricted non-essential travel, but they're not calling it lockdown. And then as a team, we have kind of decided to isolate together. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm supposed to be saying or not saying about that. So,
Right. It's all good. So,
Brian, if you watch this, I apologize.
yeah. So, what are some of the things you're missing out on right now? Like, what are some of the disappointments you've faced through
I
this?
think the biggest one for me has been I didn't realize how much I was speaking in Talkpissin and spending time with our staff in the office. I missed our Bible studies that we were doing with them. It's been really weird to switch back to completely doing everything in English because our Papua New Guinean friends and coworkers aren't here. So it's me and our neighbor from Ohio and Caitlin. And then we'll get together to do prayer each day, but it's with other expats, other people from Canada and America.
Yeah.
And I really miss that. Just like doing a Bible study with someone from a different culture, or especially when you're the only one from a different culture and then everyone else in the Bible study is from, you get some really cool perspectives with that. You just read the same passage and they see things that you've never seen before, even if you read it 100 times. And that's really, I'm missing that.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
So everybody's facing lots of disappointments through.
Yeah.
I mean, we could put a huge list together, but hey, we'll pause real quick. If anybody that's watching, if you have a question for Mac, feel free to put that in the chat. I got the chat Facebook comments kind of up on my phone on the side here. So if you have a question for them, feel free to comment and we'll throw it in here. So let's switch over from like the disappointments to like what's something you guys are celebrating? Like what's one of the biggest wins you guys have had over the past, maybe year?
Two things. One is like a massive win that's just been like the highlight of the year, and then the other is just in the last few days. So the big win of the year for me has been getting to be a big part of the dedication of the Waran New Testament, and that was an incredible experience. Just getting to be a part of what has taken 40 years to finish, and they've had like a New Testament translation doesn't usually take 40 years. They have had so many setbacks and so many difficulties and so many deaths in the team, and it's a hard place to work. And I feel like Satan really didn't want them to have the Bible in their language, but they do. And it's just seeing people brought to tears by being able to hold the Bible in their own language for the first time was incredible.
Yeah. I remember watching the video from that, and people
Yeah.
were overjoyed and like
Yes.
celebrating like people do when their team wins the Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a massive thing. And
I mean, it's like the Super Bowl, but eternal. Like the Super Bowl is a huge deal, and then you get a ring, and then it's over. And like this is like literally eternity shaking. Like people come to know Jesus because of this, and they are never the same in this life and the next, and that's super exciting.
Man,
Yeah. Sorry, go.
No, I'm every time I talk to you guys, I'm just I'm more in awe of the cool work that you guys get to do.
If it helps, like there's like a lot of boring in there mixed with the cool.
Yeah. No,
It's not all exciting. I think the last week has been proof of that, but
yeah.
oh man.
So you said the big one, and then you said one just
Yeah.
every 4 days.
As an aside to that, I thought about like we've also gotten to spend a lot of time with the Adaramu this year after that Waran dedication. The Adaramu is another language group, and they already have their New Testament, and they've actually started a Bible college now. It's just, that's a whole different story. We can talk about that later. But they have finished translating their Old Testament, so they're going to dedicate their Old Testament and New Testament whole Bible. And it's been really cool to work with them and just to see, like, they're on a whole different level. And I really think a large portion of that is because they've had the Bible in their language for a number of years now while they're working on their Old Testament, and just to see the long-term impact that has had on their entire people. It's just really cool, and it's encouraging in times when the work here is boring or not encouraging, to see their excitement over the Word of God.
Oh, yeah. So how many people groups in Papua New Guinea still don't have the Bible in their language?
This is normally where I would turn to Caitlin because she knows these things better than I do, and she's asleep. I want to say that there are 50, but we are in desperate need of survey workers, like people who are really well trained in going to these people and determining, like, is it an actually different language? How many people speak it? At what level do they speak it? To really know that number. There are definitely at least 20 that are like bigger language groups that really need to know the Word of God in a language. And then there are another group on top of that that's probably just as many, if not more, that we haven't done survey work for sure, but they have at least come to us and said, hey, we don't speak a language like anyone else around us, and we don't have the Bible. Would you guys like to do something about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, you guys are one of the global missions that we support and that we love supporting. And as a church, I mean, anytime we get a chance to do something like this and just talk back and forth, I mean, and you and I talk frequently anyway, but anytime that the church gets a chance to see your face and hear your voice and kind of hear what's going on. And I would ask anybody that is watching now and anybody that just clicks play on this later, that you take a minute to pray for Mac and Kate and just the work that they're doing. So Mac, if there is some encouragement that you would want to share with people watching this video, whether it's live or later, is there a verse that's been on your mind, or is there a...
So I was debating sharing this one. This was in my reading from almost a month ago at this point, and it's from Second Corinthians, and um, especially in Second Corinthians, I feel like Paul in particular is kind of intense, and so I'm always hesitant to share the things that he says with a large group of people because I'm like, wow, that was a bit much. But I think it's kind of fitting now. 2 Corinthians 4:16. He says, therefore we do not lose heart, but though our outer man is decaying, yet our inner man is being renewed day by day. Momentary light affliction is producing for us an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison. While we look not to the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. I'm looking around, so with everyone going online for work and for socialization, like I actually feel like I'm closer to you guys than I ever have been in the last 2 years that we've been here. But a lot of the things that I'm seeing and a lot of the things that I'm feeling personally are not great. Like it's really depressed and be like, this is terrible. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. And that's true. And it's okay to be upset about that. But I think something that's really helped me, and I don't know if it will help everyone, it has been an immense encouragement to me, is to step back and remember that God is considerably bigger than these things. Like he existed before time existed, and he's not caught off guard by this. Like we are, all of us are.
Right.
But God is not caught off guard by this. He's not like, oh man, coronavirus, I completely forgot about that. Oh, how's my church going to survive?
Yeah.
That's not a concern of his. Like his plans are still to prosper. He's not forgotten about us. He has not abandoned us. And remembering that God really cares deeply about our eternal salvation, and he's not going to give up on us, is immensely comforting in this time.
Absolutely. That's a great thought. And I read something the other day, and it said, just because you're struggling doesn't mean you're failing. Like,
Right.
Because you're going through something difficult doesn't mean that you're failing at life. Like it feels like the society and the world right now is kind of failing at this big exam that was thrown at us, but we're just struggling through it, and we will get through it. And Papua New Guinea will get, US will get through it. We're going to be okay. We're going to come out the other side. And, as long as we lean on God and depend on him through it all, we're all going to be okay.
Yeah. He does not promise that it's going to be particularly pleasant all the time or necessarily comfortable.
Right.
But for Christians, we have hope. And that's immensely encouraging.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. So, anything else you want to share with us? Life in Papua New Guinea? Do you have any geckos hanging out with you?
I mean, right now, I turned lights on to try and make this slightly less look like midnight. Right. And there are definitely geckos coming to eat the bugs that are coming to look at the lights.
Oh, man. What's tomorrow hold for you? You're going to try to get some sleep here in a minute.
Yeah. Tomorrow is kind of a boring. So the environment is not nice to things here. Mm-hmm. And even without the office being open, things are still breaking. So tomorrow the plan is to just do maintenance stuff. It's kind of that, just a concrete reminder that it's not all great Bible dedication. Sometimes you change light bulbs and mow the grass, and
right.
God's still pumped about that.
Yeah. Well, we're pumped about it too. We love you guys, and we love getting the chance to hang out with you. I'm glad you stayed up for us. And
I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh man, no, we love you guys. So always anything you need, let us know. And we are praying for you. And again, I would just ask anybody that's watching this right now, just say a prayer for Mac and Kate. If you're watching this later, say a prayer for them. They're doing some great work over on the other side of the world. Like literally, I think it's the furthest away you can get from Indiana.
It's pretty far.
A long way from home.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, anything else you want to share with the good people at Mount Gilead?
Miss you guys. Hi, Mom. She'd
She-
be mad at me if I didn't say that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. Well, tell Kate we said hey. Tell the team we said hey.
Oh, well. I look forward to seeing you guys in person sometime.
All right. Soon. Hopefully soon. Yeah.
Lord willing.
Yep. All right. Have a good night, Mac. We will talk to you soon.
Kind looking you pula behind.
I wish I knew what you said.
Yep. I'll see you guys.
All right. Sounds good. See you, man.